to Shelters by Jesus podcast. I'm Pastor Richard Berry. I am the senior pastor of Shelters by Jesus, and I'm so happy that you're here with us and watching us. And I'm grateful and so grateful that you support us. Many of you are supporting us. And it's $9 a month. You can go to sheltersbyjesus.com. If you would like to support us, $9 a month to take somebody off the street. And you're going to meet some guys here. You're seeing them right now. You got 3 of them here. We've already been on podcast number 1 about this, and we've been talking. We're going to do some more now. We're picking up. But we're so excited. And if you have a comment, please put a comment in there. And I got 4 books. Shelters by Jesus, written by me, the dumb hick from Skowhegan, written in Hickanese. You will not think it's John Grisham, I can tell you that. I use a lot of my old slang, my old woodworking slang, so they're fun, but it's all about the miracles. It's all about the battles to do this and to do it 100% faith-based. That's the thing. And to do that way, it tells you how we go about it and how we support it. Everything's in there. And if you like them, put your name and address on here or call our office at 207-474-8833. Or you can, if you want to contact us and write a note or whatever, or a letter, if you got something to say or whatever, you can send it to 12 McClellan Street. That's 12 McClellan Street in Skowhegan, Maine. It should show up on our website anyway. If you go to Shelters by Jesus, that should all be there. But we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to send you the books. They're ministry books. We want you to know about us. And again, thanks for being a part of this. And here we go. We're back. And we talked to Dana on the first one. You heard his story if you watched that. He was the former Assistant Attorney General in the state of Maine. And also, if you haven't seen them all, we have John McClellan, who goes by J-Mac, who's her too. And then we have the cook, Mr. Chef himself, Mr. Kenny O'Grady, a Frenchman or Indian, whatever he is. I'm not sure what he is. Yeah, we kind of know. He's got a little Irish in him, little O'Grady. So these are the 3 gentlemen. What we're talking about is life on the streets. These guys actually spent time on the streets. We're not just talking about couch surfing. They did some of that too, but they actually spent time on the street, getting by on the street. So we're trying to find out what life was like on the streets and what led them to that, what they did before, what led up to that. We talked with Dana on the first one. It's Dana the Liberty, and Dana went to Bowdoin College, and while there he studied to be a lawyer. He played hockey. He was an All-American hockey player, and he got drafted by the Boston Bruins, but he decided to become a lawyer instead. And he shared on the first tape how that's what his daddy wanted to do. He didn't want him to be a hockey player, not professionally. So anyway, he wound up as a DA, and then as the Assistant Attorney General in the state of Maine. And one day he walked in and said, "I'm done," took off his suit and been on the street. If you watched my first one, you've already heard his testimony, but I'm just giving you an update. J-Mac has already shared a little bit. He's going to pick up. J-Mac went to the University of Maine, Augusta for a short period of time, studying to be whatever. He didn't know what he wanted to be, you know. He was going to be Lone Ranger or astronaut or something. I don't know what J-Mac is going to do. We still haven't figured out what J-Mac wants to do.
That's true.
And he went to college at, you said 20 years old?
I was 18 when I enrolled.
18. 20 you became homeless?
At 20 I became homeless. I was only at UMA for about 6 months.
Okay.
I left. Again, a lot of bad decisions.
Led up to a real bad decision.
Led up to a real bad decision. I actually ended up incarcerated in Cumberland County.
Okay, so you spent some time in jail.
Yeah, and then they let me out. I went down in shorts. It was, I think, like first or second week of April. I went down. I had shorts on. I had sneakers and a T-shirt. I had nothing else.
Really?
They let me out at 7 o'clock at night, and it was only like 40 degrees.
Whoa.
I had nowhere to go. So I started walking around the streets. An officer actually drove by, saw me, and drove me to a night shelter there called Preble Street.
Okay.
I stayed there for the night, but when I woke up, everything was so hectic. There were so many people I didn't know. I have really bad people anxiety, like being around people I just
You have anxiety problems?
Yeah.
Social anxiety?
wicked bad.
Okay.
But so I left, and I just kind of like stayed on the streets. I'd sleep under bridges, or I'd sleep in. They have a rather large park down there called Deering Oaks Park.
Okay, I've heard of that.
So I would stay down there, just kind of away from people.
Okay.
I talked with some of the people at the shelter, like some of the staff, and they actually got me connected to DHS to at least try to get food stamps
Okay.
and all of that, so I could at least have some.
Something to eat while you're out there.
But it was a rather cold April that year.
So,
I had nothing.
all right. So, how did you feel people reacted to you being sleeping in the park and all that? What did you get?
Oh, to be fair, people just generally left you alone.
They just walked by and
They
left
just
you be?
walked by.
Okay.
Some people would be nice. Some people would just walk up to you and offer you money.
Really?
Like you didn't have to fly a sign. To, like if you're sleeping in the park, I've had people walk up and give me coffee and a donut.
Really?
And just
Well, that's good to know.
yeah. Like, there are good people in the world.
And there's others that will
Oh yeah.
usher you out.
Oh yeah. But I find that if you behave yourself and you're not trying to cause a ruckus
Okay.
and you don't make a mess, they just kind of let you do your thing.
All right. All right. So you said you got some food stamps, so that's how you ate?
Yep.
You got
Yeah.
food stamps?
There was a mom and pop shop down there right next to the shelter that I would go to and buy like Italians.
Okay. So you got stuff you didn't have to cook.
Right.
Or refrigerate.
Right.
And all that kind of stuff. So that's how you got by.
And then I stayed. I was actually out in Portland from that April until December.
Okay.
Christmas Eve, I had known more people up in Lewiston. I went to Spurwink in Lewiston, so I knew more people up.
What's Spurwink?
It's a group home,
Okay.
kind of like Sweetser.
Well, I'm sure people watching, a lot of them know what Spurwink is.
Yeah.
So you went to a group home.
I went to a group home when I was younger.
Okay.
And then, so I knew more people up here.
Okay.
Up in Lewiston.
Yeah.
So I scrounged up enough money, I thought, to get a Greyhound ticket to go
Okay.
to Lewiston. It was Christmas Eve. I go to the Greyhound station, and the guy's like, "Actually, our ticket prices are doubled for holidays."
Oh, really?
Because he's like, so many people are trying to travel. We actually double our prices.
Wow.
So the ticket was almost $40, and I only had like 18.
Okay. So that didn't work.
No, it worked actually.
Oh, it did?
The guy behind the counter was actually nice enough. He actually covered what I didn't.
Really?
He covered what I didn't have for the ticket
Okay.
to come up, which was nice of him. But he let me stay in the bus stop for like 2.5 hours.
Okay.
He got me a coffee out of the vending machine. He's like, "I've been homeless. I know what it's like."
Really? He'd been homeless too?
He's like, I've been homeless.
Wow.
I've worked a bunch of odd jobs. I finally landed. He said he finally landed this one like 6 or 7 years beforehand.
Yeah.
And he just kind of stuck with it and just kind of slowly worked.
Okay.
But I moved up to Lewiston and ended up having to sleep under a bridge Christmas Eve.
You slept under a bridge on Christmas
On
Eve.
Christmas Eve.
Now that was cold.
It was like 3 degrees.
So how did you get by?
So-
How did you stay warm? What did you do?
Nothing at first. I huddled under a bridge. I found out you could donate plasma, so I started going to donate plasma. They needed an address. My friend let me use their address. I went to the post office, got a change of address. When that finally showed up, I could go donate
So
plasma.
you used their address for the post office too?
Yep. So I could. They let me do that, so I could at least donate plasma to have some money.
Okay.
So I did that. And I picked up like a tarp. I picked up a few things, a lighter.
So what'd you use the top for? Is like a tent?
Kind of, yeah. What I did was I actually took rocks under the bridge and just kind of held it in place with the rocks up on the metal
Okay.
part of the bridge, like the metal beams,
All right.
to hold it up so that was acted like a tent.
Okay, Danny, did you see anything like that on the bridge when you was there? People doing stuff like
I
that?
saw everything.
Did you see guys trying to do what he was
Oh,
doing?
sure.
Wow. So
I-
that's kind of common to do that?
Yeah.
A way to get,
Survival,
okay.
it's called
Okay.
survival.
It's not called living.
You'll do within the law. You'll do almost anything to survive.
Okay.
I had, unfortunately, when I was doing it, I was breaking the law because under the bridge, I would light fires. Small fires, I dug out a little hole.
Okay, so that's
Reserve.
illegal?
Because, I mean,
You was a non-permit fire?
Right.
Okay,
but I dug a hole, I put some wood in there, and I created a fire just to keep myself warm.
so that gets you through the night?
Yeah.
That way.
And
So what about, did you guys, were you scared while you was under the bridge?
I was
Did you-
terrified.
You were?
Terrified. Biggest reason is the train, there's train tracks that run right under that, right next to it.
Oh, really?
So there's a train that literally goes by at like 11 and then 6 in the morning.
Okay.
And my biggest fear was like somebody on the train seeing me
Ah.
cops, and I get arrested.
Yep.
And stuff like that. So I was always terrified. Anytime I would stay outside, I was terrified. I'd pack up my stuff in the morning. I'd walk around and then hope that that spot was still available when they didn't have it like boarded up.
That
That's
somebody
all.
did, because some places now, they've gone in, I know they've put in fences around the areas, they've driven people out and they put fences in. I know they did that in Concord, New Hampshire. To keep you out so you can't get underneath their bridge.
Yep. Thankfully, I didn't have.
You
to do
didn't
that.
come across that? Okay.
A friend of mine got me actually some supplies, so I actually built a cabin out in just some ramshackle cabin out in the middle of the woods.
Oh, really?
In Lewiston.
So you was there by yourself?
Yep.
Just stayed there by yourself?
Yep.
So how'd you wind up here at Shelters by Jesus?
Um,
How'd you get here?
Well, so from there, I started trying to get my life back on track. I met a friend who was going to an outreach program that they have in Lewiston.
Okay.
And he was talking about Dungeons and Dragons. I chimed in, and we became friends.
We're not Dungeons and Dragons here, by the way. This is not a dungeon.
No.
All right. And, well, Seth, chief director, has been talked about as being a dragon once in a while, but that's just a metaphor. Okay, that really isn't. He can't breathe fire, at least when he brushes his teeth. He doesn't have fire breath. But yeah, all right.
So we talked about that, and then we instantly became friends. I went to stay with him. Actually, I went to stay with another friend of mine.
Okay.
He was moving out of his place. I needed a place to go for the temporary.
All right. So how did you get here?
I was living with them last year.
Okay.
Their landlord had actually sold the building and only given them about 30 days to.
All right. So they were moving out. This is the place you was getting some help, but they got to go.
Yeah.
All right. Now we got you. So you go from there to here?
Yeah, I was working, and then we found out that the landlord was selling the building.
Okay.
So it just kind of threw everything at us at once. So we were rushing, and I was like, I don't know what to do.
Yep.
So, luckily, my friend's father was actually a resident here at the time.
Really?
Yeah, John Roberts, Seth's brother.
Oh, John's the one who brought you here?
Yeah. He and his wife Bert came down and picked me up.
Okay, well, John is the brother of our chief of staff. That's who he's talking about.
Yep.
So,
And
and John actually became a resident here for a little bit.
Yep.
Him and his family.
Yep.
They came up here. So
I
John knew because his brother was the chief of staff.
Yep.
Ah, now we got it. Now we know how we got you
But
here.
I called him because me and John had actually become friends through his son.
Okay.
I called him and he's like, if you need a ride, we will come down and get you.
Okay.
And 2 days later, I was like, well, give me till the weekend.
Yep.
2 days later, he came and picked me up, and I was here within an hour.
So what have you found life like to be here at Shelters by Jesus? We're on 5 minutes? Okay. What's that?
We've done 15.
We've done 15. All right, we're gaining. So Kenny will lead off the next one. We'll finish up with him.
It's actually been really nice. There's a lot of really good people here. Again, you can't go anywhere without having some bad apples. It's life.
Right?
But overall, my experience has been rather positive. I haven't really come across anything that I've had problems with.
So has this been a way if you feel like it's a stepping stone, you think you can be able to move on from here to do something with your life?
Absolutely.
That this isn't, you won't be headed for a bridge when you leave here. So how does it feel to be here knowing you don't have to go out days or anything too? What's that like?
It's actually nice to not have to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, pack up your stuff, and then leave, and then find a place to go for 12 hours.
Okay, because today, like we said on the other podcast this morning, it was 4 below zero when I got up to go to the gym. Out there, if you had to leave at 6 o'clock this morning, you'd hit sub-zero.
Yep.
But here, you're allowed to be in all the time.
Yep.
And you're looking for a job, right?
Yes, I am.
So you're not just here to twiddle your thumbs.
No.
So you're trying to get ahead. You're looking for a job in an apartment and all of that.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I was up at 4 o'clock this morning, filling the boilers.
Yes, you do take care of the boilers, so you're helping out here, and we appreciate that. All right, we're going to end this session and get ready for session 3. So if you watch this, we had session 1. Prayerfully you saw that. We finished up session 2. We're going to have session 3 in a minute. Thank you for watching these podcasts. I hope you're getting something out of them. I hope you're getting a good idea of what these folks are like. And mostly you're getting the idea, they're just people. They're no different than your family, your neighbors. That's all they are. They have the same fears, the same ambitions, they've been through the same problems. They're no different. They're not a bunch of feral animals. They're not under the bridge because they're a feral animal. They're not out there trying to hurt people. They're not doing anything wrong. They're just homeless. And that's the only thing it is. And so, please, if you want to support us, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please hit like. Go to our page, sheltersbyjesus.com, and for $9 a month, get somebody off the street. So these guys are here. Again, Dana and J-Mac Kent, they are here because of you and those like you that say, you know what, I got a heart for the homeless, and I want to support them. If I can't do more than $9 a month, I can do that. And I want to thank God for all of you. We've got people on Social Security. We got guys going to college that are trying to get by to do the $9. All of you, if you sacrifice for this ministry, thank you. If you give and you don't have to sacrifice because you've got some money, thank you as well. We're just appreciative of all those guys that support us with their finances or with donations or whatever it is. So thank you. That we're going to end this podcast on this one. So this is the end of number 2. We will be coming back with number 3. So y'all come back now. Here. Thank you.